Welcome, professional wrestling fans, to the PW Fan. The PW Fan is the ultimate pro wrestling podcast created by fans for the fans. And this is episode 138. I am your host, collector, barber, musician, and most importantly, a professional wrestling podcaster. Shout out Cole Cabana. Don't get me with copyright. Talk Wrestling, Tim Gilbert.
I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcasts, Andy.
I'm also your host, the No Selling Wrestling Indie fan and football lover, Jeremy.
All right, y'all. Well, once again, all three of us are back discussing the world of professional wrestling. Another bit of a slow week, but we got some things to go over. So today we will be discussing another Bo Dallas segment, MJF and Will Ospreay, The Bloodline, and more. Like I start off a lot of our shows, please go to youtube.com/the PW Fan Pod, where we kindly ask you to like and subscribe. That really helps us out. We put up a video version of this podcast every week, along with the audio on Spotify and Apple, among others. For t-shirts, prowrestlingtees.com/the PW Fan. We're going to make new stuff. It is expensive. We've been on I'll explain later, but I'm in a little bit of a financial peril right now with my house being absolutely crushed by the storm a week ago up here in the Northeast. And
not physically crushed.
Not physically
crushed. Let people know.
Tim's just sweating it out.
Financial, but also sweating it out, temperature crush, and financially crushed. And for... That's no sympathy. No sympathy. I don't want any. I don't want not as bad as the 13K incident.
It's bad.
But
you can handle anything now.
I know. After that, you're good. You can make it. But yeah, all other social media, all you got to do is look up at the PW Fan. All right. Well, Booker Andy, this is episode 138. Why don't you take it away? If anybody. In the event that anybody does hear background noise on my mic, so long story short, I had a tree that fell in my driveway, which tore down a power line, which caused a power surge to my house from the power line, which blew 8 breakers. It blew my AC unit, and it also blew the thermostat and all the wiring. So... yeah, it's bad. So I got the HVAC people either coming tomorrow or Tuesday, or either Tuesday or Wednesday to fix that, and then the electricians coming to replace all the breakers shortly after. So yeah, I'm just getting crushed. But anyway, long story short, if you hear noise in the background, it's because I have no air conditioning, and I have 4 fans blasting on me, and the only reason I have power is because these very, very nice electricians were like, look, we'll give you these breakers till we come back in a week. They're not like up to code for 2024. They were fine for 2023. It's like a technicality. You can use these to like have your fridge running and like take showers and stuff and internet. But yeah, no AC. I'm sweating. But that's my story for the week. But so I'm gonna start at the top of the show with all that going on. I don't have a classic show of the week. I honestly, besides what we needed to watch for this show, I haven't been able to watch much wrestling outside of just falling asleep, throwing on like Nitro or something. But all right, Andy, let you take it from here.
At my house, we watched.
I stayed at. So I forgot to add in. I stayed with Booker Andy for a few days. Stayed on his couch. My back was cracking like bubble wrap for like 3 days after it. But no, I'm just very thankful. I also stole Andy's fan out of his room and used it to blast on me out on the couch. And he was like, I miss my fan, man. I'm missing my fan.
Yeah, man.
You can see Tim's hair blown in the wind right now.
Yeah, I got three or 4 fans. Wait, 1, 2, 3, and then I got one in the corner. Got 4 fans going.
4 fans on you.
You got to. I checked we have a thermostat that still technically works, even though it's not hooked up to the wall. I just checked it. It says it's 80 degrees in here. Woo!
80
All right. Moving on
Alrighty.
from my
Well,
life problems.
I'm gonna say, since it's the end of July, if we don't miss an episode, in the next couple of weeks, then episode 143 will be the start of year 4. By the way,
That's crazy.
I can't believe that we'll be into 4 years of doing the show. And you know what, motherfuckers? We ain't going anywhere. How about that? Yeah. Manscaped. I'm trying to advertise you shave my pubes, all right? So why don't you hit us up?
well, this year
I'm starting
I
to
will
get tired
say
of
this
waiting
year
around for
was,
y'all.
This year was the year,
Yeah, that did really well.
I guess, of our TikTok. I would say is when we changed things up with the
No,
posts.
I would say there's been an uptick over the last few months. We've gone up in YouTube subscribers.
The TikTok.
And the TikTok's doing really well since Andy switched over the format. So if you were one of those people, the TikTok, like the Facebook, I'm a old man, but if you're one of those people who have maybe started listening from Andy posting the TikTok clips, welcome and thank you. And that was the intention, was to find you, and maybe y'all think we were a little goofy and funny enough to listen to us talk about wrestling weekly.
I know.
I'm saying damn it because Punk's on next while we're doing the podcast.
He's always on when we're doing the pod.
All right. Let's get into it. Before we get into the shows, no new episode of WWE Treasures this week. But last week I talked about it was going to be Ultimate Warrior from the week before, and I'm trying to think of something.
A little
Did I
bit.
talk about what they actually collected? Did I? Okay. I knew they had his gear from the Rick Rude match. They had
We've
his
talked
singlet.
We've talked in the past. You've kind of described the show and the things that the people are looking for, but I don't think we discussed specifically of
The
this
Warrior
episode. Yeah.
The Warrior stuff from the week before, because I don't know if I had watched it yet by the time we recorded. Yeah, they got his gear from the Rick Rude match. They got his singlet from the Ultimate Maniacs. It was like a one-time team up with Macho Man. And I think there was something else, and I can't remember. But
Did
this
they
week
cover
there was no treasures.
no action figures for the Warrior? Because he has some rare ones that I mentioned a few weeks ago.
No, they usually don't ever go into figs because it's stuff that they want to showcase that fans have seen, like be shown on TV and on pay-per-views.
Yeah, so the Rick Rude gear with him having Rick Rude's, or the
it was just yellow.
Yeah,
like
and then
his.
I was thinking of the gear that Rick Rude wore that had the Warrior's face on it.
I thought the Rick Rude one, it was him. It was pink and him, and it had the Intercontinental Championship spray painted on the front.
Yeah, but like Rick Rude would like put his opponent's face on the gear as like a disrespect. He put it on his ass and his crotch.
Yeah, the crotch was
We're gonna
the
get
Intercontinental
shrimps
Championship.
from our crotches.
But this week there was no.
Do you remember that
episode? But there
in Jackass where Steve-O was like, "I'm Steve-O, and they're about to eat shrimps from our crotches."
Yeah. There was no episode of Treasures. There was an episode this week of Biography, which was Mark Henry. It was 2 hours long. I finished that today. I will say this, and I've thought this before, dude. I don't even remember Mark Henry being around during Ruthless Aggression. I don't remember a pay-per-view with him on it.
What do you mean?
I know he was there because I can't think of a single match during Ruthless Aggression era that he was around.
It's because when he was doing the character where he came back and he had his hair long and braided, that was
when he redid the Strongman competition.
But that was like the year and a half before. So what happened was, here's long story short, because Andy's,
because
Booker
DDP
Andy's
was there when he was doing that
for new listeners who don't know, Booker Andy is my brother. So here's the timeline. I'm older than him. So here we in like 1997, 1997, we would go over to our friend Josh and John's house and we'd watch WCW Nitro, which Andy has historically said he doesn't remember much about, but he does remember some of it. And then also we would watch Raw in secret because my mom didn't like Stone Cold and like the suck it stuff with DX and stuff. And she'd say, "Are you watching the good wrestling or the bad wrestling?" But here's the thing about my mom. She didn't know the difference between Goldberg and Stone Cold. So she'd walk in and she'd see a bald guy with a goatee. And I'd say, "Oh, I'm watching the good wrestling," but really it's Steve Austin, and she thought it was Goldberg because WCW was more family friendly. But so Andy and I watched wrestling very, very like as little children from like 96 to 99, 2000. And then we took like a year and a half break. And then I remember I stayed at my friend's house for his birthday and he had these Hardy Boy VHS tapes. And we watched them that night, and I was like, shit, I forgot how much I love wrestling. I missed it. And then, like, that month, I came home. Andy and I started watching a little bit. We'd watch, like, Sunday Night Heat. And then it was The Rock versus Brock at SummerSlam 02. That was, like, the first pay-per-view that we kind of, like, got sucked back into. So, basically, what I'm getting full circle to is we had missed a little bit of the Mark Henry becoming... Like, he had his long dread.
Well, look, we were watching during Sexual Chocolate. We missed when he went back because people were like, how can he call himself the world's strongest man if he's no longer competing? So then he was like, fuck all y'all, I'm going to compete. Re-won it again, came back with the long, like, braids, and was doing, like, strongman contests or strongman feats backstage and stuff.
And there's, like, videos of Brock from that era, like, F5ing him. But it's like right before.
I don't remember him.
But it's because we started literally watching at SummerSlam 02, and from then on out, that character wasn't really around much until he came back as the House of Pain in like 05, maybe.
Yeah, but that's like, no, man. I mean, he won the title, or that was 2011 that he became the Pain one.
No, but I remember when he won the World Heavyweight Championship in like 05, 06. There was like, what? No?
Dude, 11. Vince ribbed him in 11 and got him really pissed off. They sent him out for a dark match and no one ever came out. And he got fucking angry and started destroying. He went backstage when it was done. Gorilla had cleared out. And he just started fucking wrecking shit. And Vince Valentia was like, that's the Mark Henry I want. And then he started just being the mean, like...
Vince is crazy.
House of Pain Mark Henry. And that was like 11. Because he did the fake retirement in 2013. And then he officially retired in like 2015.
No, because he was with Theodore Long and Rodney Mack. There was that era that you're skipping over.
But you said the House of Pain. I said the House of Pain.
That was my mistake, but he had a run before that.
Mark Henry, ruthless. Either way.
Because it was like
I didn't know a lot of this shit with him.
05, 06, it was Theodore Long, Rodney Mack. Yo, it's the Mac Militant. Come on, let's get it on. And then
also
Mark Henry was part of that group.
Yeah,
I wish I was one of those motherfuckers with like a photographic memory. So
I mean, he did something in ECW. He wrestled Kurt.
Yeah, I knew that there was a whole nother era that we're skipping over.
But that
was like one of his best runs, I think, when he had the World Heavyweight Championship after that fake retirement.
Yeah.
And then they broke the ring again, him and Big Show. They recreated that.
Big Show at Vengeance. Yeah.
Mark Henry's the man.
I don't know what's up with Punk's hair.
I read with this what's going on with Punk's hair?
I think he just parted it.
It just looks. It's just the way it's pushed back.
Okay, I haven't.
It's just weird. Anyway, we don't have to go on the Mark Henry. It was good though.
Hair heat. Punk's got hair heat on the show.
Hair heat. All right, let's get into it. I'm gonna start again. I liked how we did it last week, so I'm gonna do all AEW stuff and then WWE stuff.
Also,
Dynamite.
isn't it? They said like what
Dynamite
39 more episodes
250.
until they beat WCW.
250th episode of. Something like that. I mean, when they first announced it, it was like 53 more episodes, so they're probably at 39 by now. So Dynamite's 2 hours long. The first hour was one match. Tim actually watched a lot of this with me, and then when it hit the hour mark, or right before it, he was like, damn, they're still going? I was like, yeah, they're going to go an hour. It was MJF versus Will Ospreay. Very good match. My gripe with it is that he gave away pay-per-view matches on free television, which is a mistake that WWE or WCW did back in the day. They were giving away pay-per-view matches on television. I thought this was going to be the All-In match.
That is the issue they've been
apparently
having. Not, All In.
guess.
They've kind of done so many matches recently,
but
I can see like why they did a big match for the 250th episode, but also like, I don't know. They don't really have too many new matches for All In now.
Yeah. So it was for Ospreay's International Championship. Yeah, I mean, they did everything this match. It was an hour long. How can you not?
Yeah.
MJF would end up winning, though, using the Dynamite ring, and he is the new international champion. They put the oxygen tanks on them, and
easy.
MJF
he's like out of breath.
Mask on and pulls it out and says, "Easy W." He's like, just another day where easy W. And people were talking shit online. They were like, bro they need an oxygen mask after this. While you had 40-something-year-old Shawn Michaels with Cena just walk out of there on his own after his Broadway with.
Well, I'm sure that was more for show than anything,
Cena.
but
it's crazy, dude.
On Raw.
But that was still like that was really good.
Because they've
hour
done that
match.
before. Danielson.
Yeah.
Really good.
I mean, they could have done a lot, but I was just like watching the match. I'm like,
could have dragged
it's
the
a good
feud
match.
out.
I look insane.
I don't know.
Well, they can't. They like after an hour-long match, you can't do it for like a long time.
Hour-long match, I don't want to see
between
it
those
again.
two. And also, Tim looks like a homeless person right now.
I was literally gonna say I just said I look insane.
Like Tim looks like he's lost it finally.
It's the fan.
Yeah.
I'm over this.
So shortly
shit.
after that match, we had a learning tree segment.
It's hot as fuck in here. I don't make love. I fuck.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Has anybody ever seen that dude? That weird ass Canadian guy. He was like a lawyer, and then he like lost. He like lost his whole family. Yeah, dude, that guy's insane. I'm
Spoiler,
the beast.
Adam Pearce just said to Punk and McIntyre that they're wrestling at SummerSlam, so I guess Punk will be cleared by next weekend.
All right, well, we're not watching it right now, Andy.
So, yeah. Well, I'm waiting
Next
to hear
week,
him say it to make it official. So we had a learning
Check.
tree segment, which to me these are just worse and worse.
I know. And
Every
the
fucking year.
Thanks,
the
guys.
setup
Dude,
for
it's
like
getting
his like
so
show
bad.
or whatever
Or
he
every
does.
fucking
Like I
week.
hate it. The tree, the TV there.
Dude, I watched the clip of this segment the other night, and just
like
him
cringy.
doing the promo. It's just like so bad.
No, not in a funny way that you like to watch
It's not
cringe
like
videos,
funny,
but like
it's
this
not
is like a
funny,
bad
though.
cringe.
It's like just bad.
Yeah.
And it's just like not good.
Yeah.
You're like just like
Yeah.
"Ah, this feels low budget and shitty.
After that, we're already halfway through the show. After that, we had Mercedes Moné defeating Nyla Rose. Backstage, we would see the Acclaimed officially joining Team AEW. So now there's one spot left, which we would find out at the end of the night who that is. There was a segment with Okada and the Bucks and Mercedes Moné, and the Bucks say Okada wants to see the CEO dance, and then she did it and walks away, and Okada's like sweating, and he's like, she got him all flustered. So Okada's,
Yeah.
I guess doing some funny shit booking wise. We had a segment
Also,
with Mariah May where she comes dressed
This segment,
out as
did you hear what Tony
Storm,
Schiavone said
but
when
not
she was like
her
about to cut a
normal
promo and then she like
rocker
stopped for
Toni
a second?
Storm.
Yeah, he was like, "Speak, bitch,"
He
and they're
said,
like, "Whoa, Tony!"
talk, bitch, or something like that.
He was like doing it as part of like
Yeah, he
the
got hate online.
kayfabe
for that, which
and
is
storyline
stupid.
part because he
Like-
doesn't like her. But I was like, "Whoa!"
And people were like, he went too far. I'm like, shut the fuck
Talk,
up.
bitch. So fake. So bad.
Speak, bitch.
He's never said.
Mariah May would.
You know, Tony has never yelled at a woman in his whole life, and as soon as he did, he was like, "I'm sorry, babe. I love you so
I mean,
much."
he did
Please.
say after after he said that, and
Please,
they said
babe, never
something.
leave me
He's
again,
like,
I
"I'm
love you."
sorry, bud." She's just like whatever, and it's like he doesn't really. It's just the storyline stuff. I thought it was just funny though.
Mm.
I don't know, but it was just like all
That dude's
quiet.
never said that
then
anything
he's
like
like,
that
"Speak,
ever in
bitch."
his entire life. I'd be willing to put.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to put his money on the line.
Stop watching Raw right now. I know there's a big moment happening right now, but
So Mariah May would explain her actions.
Andy,
they didn't say anything yet.
It's just
We'll talk
Seth
about
is
it
out
next
there, and
week.
I'm like, is he the special guest referee at SummerSlam? Well, I kept trying to say Mariah May, and then y'all went off. So Mariah May, though, was explaining her actions, and she said, I'm surprised, or you all saw it coming. I'm just surprised it took this long. So she's going to be going after Toni Storm's title at All In. And then the main event was Swerve Strickland defeating Okada via DQ. Team AEW and Team Elite would start brawling. And then down from the rafters would come Darby Allin, just like Sting. So it looks like the teams are set for Blood and Guts, which I believe are this week. Or is this week coming up? So it's Team Elite is Jack Perry, the Bucks, Okada, and Hangman versus Team AEW, which is Swerve,
Definitely not
Briscoe,
as pumped for this Blood
the
and Guts
Acclaimed,
as
and
once
Darby
before.
Allin. So yeah, that was Dynamite. No.
That's the same thing.
I don't really ever care for Blood and Guts. I like
the same
Blood.
match.
Those always get me more interested. But... yeah, but done better. Don't forget the same.
to like
a landing pad.
Onto like a clear pad.
Yeah. It was like all of a sudden there was like corporate boxes everywhere.
Not even hidden. So Collision this week was in
they have like I
Arlington,
forgot that it was
Texas's
this starting this week, but they
eSports
actually
stadium.
I don't know, are having it there for like a couple
It
weeks, I
looked
think.
different. Yeah, well, it wasn't
not
a huge arena, and I was like, oh, it actually looks filled out because
But
I know it says the word stadium after, but it's not.
never been there.
It's like going to Maryland
I was gonna say the
Live.
stage
You've
looks
been to
cool, though.
Maryland
How they have it
Live
set up.
Casino's hall. They have their own stage already there. I thought, like, before I knew they were at the esports stadium, I was like, oh, they got a different, like, Titantron there or everything, but they were just using there. But this is a place where it's only sit-down seats. There is no stands where it goes up.
Yeah, especially for
like, oh, it
Collision,
actually
because that's the show that kind of like, you're like, oof.
Maybe stick to it. Oof. Yeah, and that's the show they do ROH as well. So Darby Allin would cut a promo after his match, kind of going down the line, talking shit about the members in Team Elite. Sky Blue had a match with Hikaru Shida, and she would get injured. I believe it's her knee, maybe. Hikaru Shida would just do like a dive over the ropes to the outside to Sky Blue, and I guess when Sky Blue landed, or how
it must have been
Shida
serious
landed
because they
on
stopped
her,
the match.
she had to get walked out. So I think it's her left leg. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was stopped all through the commercial break, picture-in-picture. You just see Shida trying to buy time and the refs and stuff going around the Sky Blue. So
Andy.
we won't see that ace for a little while on TV.
Oh my god, guys.
We won't see the pug on TV for a little while.
That pug. Cal Fletcher's Beach.
And then in real life, he kills all of us.
Lance Archer would be seen taking out some scrubs backstage.
He's always there for like one show and then disappears for months.
I don't know why they keep trying with him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not happening.
Just stop trying to make Lance Archer happen. All right, it's not working. Just let it go.
Jericho during the Learn Tree shit had a message for Minoru Suzuki, who is apparently wrestling Jericho, I think, this week. There was an FTR segment.
Yeah.
Cash Wheeler would talk a little bit about his charges without actually saying the gun charges things, but during this, but they said that they're gonna work their way back up to face the Bucks.
No, they can't do that
for the titles. Like, are they gonna do it at All In again?
Is it 4 or 5 then?
Bucks versus FTR for like the 10th time.
Yeah, definitely has to be 4. Yeah. And also, like, within, like,
at least 4.
The span of, like, 2 years, basically.
Past 3 is too many.
A hologram.
We had the debut of this guy they've been teasing called Hologram. People are like, "Oh my god!"
Dude, they turned
a character.
They turned
do anything like Glacier.
They turned.
Did they really?
The comments off on his post on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Because people were like, "What the fuck is that? What the hell is even that?"
Hologram is a guy.
See, I was like,
Aramis
he's a good wrestler.
AAA wrestling. I don't know why they would just change his name and stuff.
But
at first, people were like, "Is it Ricochet?" He was a good wrestler. It was a good match, and he was facing a guy named Gringo Loco.
Guys, all this is Glacier in WCW and Suicide in TNA. It's the same fucking thing. It's a made up character. What was his name? Mortis. Who was the dude that they did the Dark Side of the Ring about? That the Bucks were on. They had like a big thing. Canyon. Yeah, he had he had a Mortal Kombat character too. It was created for the show. Al Snow had a character like that in the old WWF where he was like a Power Ranger ninja. It's just characters that are like dumb that are made for the show that it's never gonna work.
Well, yeah, you know what's funny? Actually, talking about the TNA one, I remember the TNA video game, and you would play as yeah.
That's what they've been like multiple people, and that's the whole point of the character. Anyone can fill the shoes. Sin Cara became like that.
But dude,
Sin Cara's been like 2 or 3 other people.
It just Tony Khan does all the shit that he says that he was like never gonna do. Like if you go back and watch older interviews, he's like, "Oh, I know exactly why WCW had problems. They hired too many people and overpaid people." And then he does the same thing.
You need to watch The Rock's new show, Who Killed WCW.
The Rock
says it was actually my idea for everything, and then I called Tony Khan and said, "You should start AEW."
So Hologram debuted against Gringo
cool
Loco,
moves, but that's
and won.
Oh,
I got my my little black kitty came out. She never comes out.
Deonna Purrazzo would defeat Thunder Rosa in a Lumberjill match.
What's her name?
Never seen a lumberjack match for women. Maybe they've done before and I missed it.
Yeah.
Or don't remember.
Right in the camera right now.
Bean Girl.
It's
So
Luna, but yeah.
Yeah. This is my bean girl. She is she's very skittish and she gets very afraid. But my wife and daughter have been having to live at my in-laws because we don't have any. They can't take the no air conditioning, so she's starving for attention right now. She misses everybody. She's a
being
girl.
a whore.
She loves it. She loves Andy.
Yeah, I remember when
That
I
her
was there
bestie
and
at
she
one
like
point.
first came out and she like stared at me because she was like, "Who is this person?"
That's my bitch.
Remember, she just kept staring at you. That was funny as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's coming out for loving.
Main event of Collision. Main event of Collision was the Patriarchy defeating the Bang Bang Gang to become new AEW Trios champions. This was because of Nick Wayne's mom getting involved, if I'm not mistaken. And that is AEW for the
Oh
week.
yeah, by far. Yeah.
Best thing on it was the MJF Ospreay match. Best thing AEW did all week. So, let's get into WWE. Raw this past week, opened up with Rhea Ripley, who returned at the end of Raw the week before. She had some words for Liv Morgan, but before Liv would pop up on the Titantron, Dominic Mysterio would come out. This is now full-blown Eddie Guerrero in China, right? He came out with a rose. He looks like Eddie Guerrero. He came out with a black rose for Rhea. Like,
it's me and you, baby, going to the prom. Glad
dude,
that
was just way better when he was like doing like a cholo.
Dude, when Eddie, if anybody hasn't seen that clip, go back to go look up Latino Heat giving
That's so funny.
China the rose, and he talks about taking her to the prom. It's one of the fucking great segment. I'm laughing thinking about it. It's me and you, baby. We going to the prom.
So that's what I mean. This has fucking become, and I'm here for it. Sheamus would defeat Bronson Reed. Well, first of all, Rhea and Liv are now set to face each other at SummerSlam. Liv has come out on social media and said she is not gonna do a Dominic.
They need to have him in like a Shark
or
Tank
custody
above
of
the
Dominic
ring.
match. That there's no need for it. I want to see it. Dude, save it for Bad Blood or something.
Did you all see the interview that Ray did? That he was like, I think one of y'all sent it.
Yeah,
where it was like, man, if Eddie was still alive, the stuff that we could be doing right now with like me, him, and Dom would be so crazy. And I'm like, damn, it would be insane.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine Dom now. Imagine Dom now
Eddie
versus
in the
Eddie.
past like
be crazy.
10 years.
Eddie would be retired.
Yeah,
Eddie
but just imagine like Eddie being
Ray.
around
if
for
Ray's about
the
to
past 10
retire,
years.
Then Eddie would have been retired by now.
Eddie probably. I know. Makes me sad. He definitely would have done some cool, entertaining stuff as like a manager or like just a character.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how much those people in NXT would benefit from him like training them and teaching them.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's why I look, some of the characters I don't like, but I know that when they get up to the main roster, they could change. But at the end of the day, you got Shawn Michaels training the future of wrestling. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The dude's the best ever.
I mean, Adam Cole.
Yeah, he said that
Adam Cole became a better performer overall because of people like Shawn backstage. That's his boy.
Yes.
All right, Sheamus would defeat Bronson Reed, and afterwards Pete Dunne, who used to be part of the Brawling Brutes, would attack Sheamus. Not sure why yet, but I do know Tyler Bates injured, so it looks like they're trying to do something with Pete Dunne, and that is pitting him against his former friend. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance would save Zelina Vega from a beatdown from the lesbians. No. No,
they do need to give him a name.
But yes. They need to give
I know,
him a
I was
name.
going to say, like, it'll prevent us from calling them the lesbians.
I don't feel like saying all their names back to back.
That's so funny. They even popped up tonight, and Andy was like, oh, the lesbians are on.
Yeah. So if you didn't know, it's Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville. Damian Priest and Gunther would have a face-to-face. Damian would talk about how he made it seem like Gunther didn't want to be a wrestler. And Gunther... And also, Damian would talk about how he came from the streets and had a hard life. And then Gunther would talk about how it's Damian's parents'
This is a
fault
good promo
that
from
he had
Damian
a rough
Priest.
life.
Like,
and
we were just saying
they would
before
get physical.
Yeah. We were just saying before
Gunther
the
called
pod, like
Damian
Andy and I were
street
like,
trash.
Priest is actually over
Like he's
now,
Aladdin.
like or getting over.
Well, this segment we're talking about, I mean, you can tell people are kind of getting on board with a babyface Priest, or if Priest were to leave Judgment Day, that people would be behind him.
Yeah, but anytime someone calls somebody like street trash or something along those lines, it kind of immediately, I feel like, makes the people be like, all right, hang on, motherfucker. I'm taking this guy's side. Like, I remember Triple H did some real weird promos on Booker T 20 years ago, saying that he went to jail and he was a criminal and all kinds of stuff.
She wanted it.
No.
She wanted it. She wants it. Yeah, so
Talked
like
about that last
it
week.
it pretty much immediately makes somebody a babyface, in my opinion, once you start calling
and they needed that in this feud too, because I feel like at first it was like heel versus heel, and like no one really cared other than Gunther being champion.
Well, next week we'll talk about predictions, and hopefully the card is more filled by the end of this
at
week.
SummerSlam.
You guys think Roman's coming back at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Either what do you think he cost them
at the end of Solo and Cody? I don't know. I think his music hits by the end of the night. Roman is holding up Cody's hand or endorsing him, basically. I think he's on Cody's side, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Roman's involved in War Games and he's on Team Cody. Against Solo's new
I feel like it would be like Roman and then Usos, and then I guess you have to put someone else.
Nah.
Don't question Booker
Usos.
Andy when he speaks.
It would be Roman. It would be
Roman. We already know he's right.
It'll be Roman, Cody, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Jimmy. Jay's over on Raw. This is all SmackDown.
For anybody who may be new, we do have the Booker, Andy, White, and Black versions on Pro Wrestling Tees.
I don't know if we still have this original shirt.
They're all up there. Any shirt that you want, they don't take down to the designs. They're print to order. So you want the year one, you get the year one. It's on there.
So anyway, back to Raw, because we are still on Raw.
So anyway, but just real quick, since we're on the subject of merch, we need the year 4 design, and we need to get the Jeremy.
Oh, Liverpool.
What's the name of your soccer team? No. Yeah, we need the. Okay, well, hang on. Yeah, we need We need the red Liverpool Jeremy shirt. We need the year 4 logo, and we need the Joker Jeremy.
Oh my god.
The best
Jeremy,
picture
sure you don't
ever.
want it to be a Man City or Man U.
You know I hate those teams.
You want the Manchester United football team?
I thought you were going to say beans and toast.
Blowing bubbles. Beans and toast.
I think we kind of need to, like at this
point. Should we do a beans and toast shirt? No one's
Backstage,
gonna.
J.K. Bob was calling out Bo Dallas.
I think we just have a shirt with shitty writing that says "beans and toast, bruv," and that's all it says.
No, it needs to be my face. It's like a caricature with big ass like teeth saying
Okay.
beans and toast.
Beans and toast. Does it say "bruv" on it at all?
Beans and toast, bruv. Hiss.
Hiss, isn't it? All of our
if anyone from
all of our
there
UK listeners just
across
turned
the
off.
pond.
Another shrimp
We're like,
on
"This
the
is the last
bobby.
straw. We've been putting up with it. We've been putting up with it, and
We're
it's
done
not
with
cool,
it
bro."
now. All right.
Oh my god! All right, enough.
So, like, I need to go put on Enter
Backstage.
Shikari and hang out and watch
Of course,
Skins.
Andy watches everything.
Oh, love Skins.
British
She loves
shows
Skins,
are
too.
so good.
Dude, British Skins is fucking sick. See, me and Andy.
Yeah, not
Yeah. See, we love the British.
Sex
We're just giving you
Education's
guys,
great.
because you know they're over there right now being like, y'all better get a cheeseburger, doo-doo-doo. That's how they hear us. So it's the same thing.
All right, back to the show, guys. Getting off the rail. Backstage, Chad Gable keeps telling people he's going to call out Bo Dallas
his high
because
intellect.
he's used his high intellect, and it's discovered that Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas. People are like, yeah, we know. People are like, yeah, Chad, we know. And he's like, I know. I've been telling everyone. Also seen
Yeah.
is Gable failing to get the Alpha Academy back together. Then we would have a segment with Adam Pearce and Drew McIntyre where Adam Pearce is trying to get Drew to apologize for his actions.
Yeah.
2
weeks. 2 weeks.
From the week before, right?
Yeah.
No, it's from the match. It's right. It's from the last pay-per-view. He wants him to apologize to the refs, and Drew does not want to do it. Seth Rollins would come out to try to help Adam Pearce, but everything was kind of broken up by him. All right, the VHS tape this week. So they're done showing Uncle Howdy week to week. Uncle Howdy was the first member that we showed his psyche, and now this week was Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan, they showed him talking about, without saying the names, talking about the death of Brody Lee and Bray and how it affected him, and then how Bo basically got him out of the darkness, or I should say Uncle Howdy brought him back. Speaking of, as we're talking about this, so-and-so's on TV. So it looks like, especially, I won't say who they did this week, but it looks like they are doing member by member every week, because they did a new VHS
really
tape
good.
this week with a different member. So we're going to get into their psyche about it. But I thought this was one of the best things that Eric Rowan's ever done, promo stuff-wise. There was a lot of realness to it. I watched it with Tim when Tim stayed over my place. There's more to this. Right after I say Jey Uso defeated Dominic Mysterio, it looks like Jey Uso thinks that mommy is single and he's ready to mingle with her. But Chad Gable would get to the ring and call out Bo Dallas. So this is the other segment I watched with Tim. And he calls out Bo. Bo comes out, and from behind come the Creed brothers. Brutus and
The Creed brothers are
why
boring.
can I remember the name Brutus and not the other brother's name? And I feel like Brutus is the one. They are athletes. Brutus and Julius, the Creed brothers. Brutus and Julius Creed, college wrestlers. They came up from NXT, and they haven't been shown a whole lot lately. They were shown kind of the first couple weeks of their debut, but looks like they're now Team Gable, and all three men would beat up Bo Dallas, and Bo would, first of all, one of the first things Bo did, me and Tim were like, you don't have to go that hard, all right? He like threw himself into that
It's
barricade.
like, it's been a
when
while
he got
since I've been on
tossed.
TV.
Yeah, I was like,
You don't gotta hurt yourself, man.
I was like, we got a good thing going. You don't need to break your neck in the first 3 seconds that you're out there.
So they're beating him. Gable's eventually beating up in the corner, and Bo Dallas keeps laughing. And eventually, I'll call it the Firefly. Not
that
music,
sound effect,
but
power down. Yeah,
power down. Yeah, that hit. Lights went dark. From the stage comes out the rest of the White Six, and
that's
everyone
like how
clears the
Bray's-
ring except for Bo.
Yeah.
They all stand behind Bo, and Bo's on his knees with his arms out, just like Bray used to be with the Wyatt family. It was crazy,
especially
how much
in that moment, he looked
just
just like
reminded
Bray
me
in
of
that.
Bray in this moment. But I thought I like it. I like this whole thing a lot because it's
Yeah.
similar, but it is different. Or I should say it's familiar. So it's easy to like kind of get pulled into it because there's elements from the far past Wyatt family, but also elements from the Firefly Funhouse, plus new things. And it's a nice combination of it all. And again, it feels like a very good tribute week to week to Bray. I don't think it's been disappointing at all. There hasn't been one that I've been like, eh. Like every week, I'm like kind of looking forward to this.
No,
stuff
I like the
doing.
pacing of what they're doing this as too.
So, any thoughts on that, guys?
And I was like, if they're gonna continue the
doing good.
videos, like they need to kind of have like something else happen, which I thought this was perfect to go along. Yeah, so I think that was perfect, and it's also
which they've now switched
I was
up.
gonna say it's nice to see like Bo as himself
only do
too,
Uncle Howdy
and
and
then
Bo
they'll have
so
the
much.
Uncle Howdy thing as well eventually.
You know what will be interesting is seeing. I think Joe Gacy's gonna crush it. He was fantastic in NXT. Tim, that's the guy that you said he reminds you of Kevin Owens.
Right, that's the pig, right?
I think his promo is going to be sick. But what's going to be interesting is Dexter Lumis, who never talked through his WWE run.
He did
And I've
say
heard his
one
voice
thing in
from when he was
NXT.
in
I think.
TNA, and his voice does not match him. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, wasn't it during the wedding thing?
What, during the way stuff?
Yeah, or something like that. And I was like, ugh.
Yeah, but that's when he
Like,
was in the
his
way.
voice
So
is not good.
He said, "I do." I guess to
It
Indy Hartwell.
is.
Yeah, it's his voice. It's like
I don't know how they
high-pitched,
make
weird.
that sound spooky.
So I don't know what they're gonna do, but main event though was Ilya Dragunov defeating Sami Zayn via disqualification because Braun Breaker interferes. There's more to come of that from this week, but we'll talk about it next week. Setting up SummerSlam, and that's Raw.
Nope.
Anything to add before we get into SmackDown? All right. Cody Rhodes would open up the show. I don't know if it's because like I wasn't like 100% focused, or maybe it just wasn't like that great of a thing. Like he's cutting a promo basically about the bloodline, but then A-Town Down Under happens and or come out, and then they challenge like for a match later that night. And right now it's a handicap, but then he's gonna get a partner. And the story throughout the night is whoever answers Cody's like tag team opening basically is going to be on the Bloodline's bad side. And in the end, it wasn't anyone surprising. I was like, oh, okay, well, this person's already on the bad side of the Bloodline. But before we get there, we had Andrade and Carmelo Hayes have a match where Andrade would end up beating Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, they had time.
That's why I wrote down. I don't usually write down every match, but if the match was good, especially when I enjoy two people involved, yeah. People will need to not forget that.
I don't know how he's always like
Hayes has shown a lot, but Andrade
not booked at all for. I don't know. That's true.
Dude, foreign guys are never booked well.
I was gonna say, even in the Triple H era, that's true.
And if they are, they just put Latinos against Latinos.
Oh, everyone got their pets now. Mine's sleeping over here. I'm not gonna wake him up. He meows all the time.
Mine's fat.
So last week we had LA Knight sign his half of the contract for SummerSlam. This week, Logan Paul would come out and have a promo with LA Knight. Nick Aldis was out there as well. In the end, Logan Paul signed his contract. So it looks like we are going to get Logan Paul versus LA Knight for the United States Championship. Guys, if LA Knight does not fucking
because Logan Paul doesn't need
after
it
all this
anymore.
time, he needs something.
Because LA Knight has nothing
No,
going
I
for him.
think he'll
after
win.
this.
Yeah, and he was so hot, and it's like died off. They need to get him back.
Yeah, exactly.
And having a title on someone is an easy way to get them storylines, I feel like. But moving forward, the main event, like I said, was Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. I didn't say who his partner was going to be. Yeah, it was Kevin Owens. You see Cody walking backstage to go straight to the ring, and he sees Kevin, and he's taping up his wrist, so I guess that's how we're supposed to assume, oh, okay, this is going to be his partner. So, they end up defeating A-Town Down Under. Afterwards, the Bloodline would attack, per usual. Jacob Fatu,
I think it's
Tongaloa, Tamatanga, Solo Sikoa.
yeah. They put him through a
what did they
table.
do to
Yeah,
Kevin this week. Well, they put Cody through a table, right, with a power bomb,
right?
Shield
yeah.
power bomb, which is what they did to Randy the week before. Made Cody watch.
Yeah.
Oh, they took Kevin Owens out with a chair around his neck and threw him into the post.
I know. I was like, okay, that's
right. So
that's enough weeks in a row where
Bloodline
they're
is
gonna do the
just
same
destroying
thing because
Cody
that can
Rhodes
get
and
old
Flair.
pretty fast. But yeah,
But they got one more week, or I guess
do
two
find
more
it
Smackdowns. Technically,
funny that
until
everyone makes fun of Tamatanga
they get to
all the time now because I don't know, like he's the one who botched the low blow, right, and all
Since he
that.
botched the move.
Tamatanga or Tongaloa.
Are you sure?
Tongaloa.
Okay. Well, him, and he does that
is
weird
the one
noise,
that
doesn't he?
botched. Yeah.
Oh my
Tamatanga
God.
debuted first, and then his brother. No, Tama does the.
Yeah.
The one that botched the low blow was Tongaloa.
They have the same
name.
Yeah. No, I will say also,
same fucking name.
you know, War Games is 5 members, right? So you got Solo, you got Tama, you got Tonga, and then you have Jacob Fatu. You need a 5th. Pretty sure the other brother, Hikuleo, is coming. So there's your 5.
Coolio.
Also, Andy, were you
Thought he
watching
died.
Raw?
Hikuleo. Oh my God.
Yes.
Hikuleo.
Oh, I know we're not going to talk about it. That
Just
was
now?
pretty cool what happened.
Yeah. Don't like what you saw? Oh, okay. I was gonna say you don't like that. So let's look at it. We're not gonna do our predictions right now, but I do want to look at
How
the
did
matches that have
how
been
did a
booked.
week that had nothing happen in wrestling go over an hour on this show? How is that possible?
We're talking about beans and toast for like
'Cause
20
you guys,
minutes.
we don't always talk about wrestling. We're talking about your power.
You got to
Beans and
be
toast.
entertaining. Got to be entertaining for the people.
All right. Well, here's the matches so far.
Yes.
All right, for SummerSlam. You ready?
I'm ready.
Gunther's winning.
Damian Priest versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. I mean,
That's
can I
fine.
say these without spoiling? I'm gonna have to spoil what happened tonight.
No, you're not
Alright.
allowed. Sorry.
Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker Intercontinental Championship.
Is that what was announced?
CM Punk, Drew McIntyre with special
Alright,
guest
well, that
referee
spoiled it
Seth
for me.
Rollins. Yep.
I know.
Well, so did the Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn one. So that's why I was like, do I want to say it? LA Knight versus Logan Paul for the United States title. Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan for the women's world title. Bayley versus Nia Jax for the WWE Women's Championship. And did I say Cody versus Solo Sikoa?
Mm-hmm.
Nope. For the
And this year's
not a bad
SummerSlam
card
is just
so
one
far.
night, right?
How many is that? 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 7. SummerSlam's just one
Cool.
night, yes. 7 o'clock Eastern.
Eastern Standard Time.
So right now there's 7 matches booked. Do you think there'll be
I
another
think,
match
'cause
booked
it's
on the main card?
That'd be cool if they did have that match.
Chad and Bo? I'd like to see
I remember just to go real quick off the Eastern Standard Time. One time the band did a podcast interview, and they told us to be on at 7, and then I got on at 7, and then I like texted the dudes and was like, "All right, ready when you guys are. We're in here," and they were like, "Yeah, we said 7," and I was like, "Yeah, it's fucking 7 right now, dude." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're like over on the West Coast," and I was like, "Okay, nobody goes by that time. Like
It's always
you need
Eastern Standard
you need to
Time
mention
because
that.
we're better than the West Coast.
3 hours ahead of you, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
The B
I was like, that's
time.
like the B time. No one uses that first.
So that wraps up the show. Since Tim does not have a classic show of the week, I'll just say watch the new biography episode on Mark Henry.
Is that it?
It's good.
Yeah, I'd like to watch that. I mean, I feel like Mark Henry's one of those guys who he's been around long enough where you start to look at him with a little bit of like fond memories. Like, I feel like there's certain guys like when they're gone and they retire, you kind of like are like, man, I didn't really appreciate him much when they were around. Here's a couple for me personally. JBL. That I would say JBL's the big one for me. He was so good at his character, which
I
was
hated
being an
JBL.
asshole.
Dude, we fucking hated him because we loved Eddie so much.
But he was good. But he was good.
Eddie
at
made
it.
that character. JBL says
Yeah.
Eddie.
Also,
without
why he was
Eddie,
so good
he
at that
would not
character
have
is
been
because
as
that's
big
really JBL.
on that run.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he's like really like that.
I've seen him on the news doing stock shit, man. Like,
Dude, you remember when people were in the segment where people were crossing the border and he's like, you get back over there. You get back over there. You never come back on the United States of America.
Yeah.
And,
all
dude,
the
he had like the bull
Oh my
whip.
god.
So bad, dude. Oh my god. Awful.
But yeah, I mean, they were showing like old stuff that like I forgot that Mark Henry, like his first thing was like he was wearing like red,
Sexual
white, and blue
chocolate,
because he
yeah.
was an Olympian, and then he did the sexual chocolate thing, which was like more of his
Yeah,
personality. But like
he
I guess
had-
before sexual chocolate, didn't he? Before sexual chocolate, he did
Nation.
So okay, he was doing the red, white, and blue thing. Then they
And then
realized
Nation
he
of
needed
Domination.
some more training. He needed some more training, and so he was training with The Rock. And then when he came back, he was Nation Domination. And then he did Sexual Chocolate. And then I guess from there he went back to the weightlifting competition, and then came back as World's Strongest Man, and was that for a while. And then it was the House of Pain. But they talk about him leaving, and they mention AEW. You know, Mark Henry's getting interviews like, you know, I went to AEW and I felt like I'd done everything that I did in WWE. And shows all the headlines. It says All Elite Wrestling during this biography thing. It's interesting. It's good. Well, every week, I think next week,
Oh, that should be good.
I'm really excited for it. I think next week is Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
So I really want to watch that. Yeah. I've never seen a Paul Heyman doc.
Yeah.
Tim, you might have one. There might be one out there.
kidding.
Is there a Paul Heyman doc out there?
Yeah. Well, I have a great Blu-ray documentary, and then there's one on Peacock too.
Oh, okay. I still say the best biography episode out there, and y'all have missed out on it, is Roman. Roman's, dude. I texted you guys. I was like, he's the fucking greatest of all time. After I got done watching it, I was like, God damn, is he the GOAT, dude? Just the way they put everything like into perspective for like what he's done. I'm just like, holy shit.
Andy loves Roman.
Yeah, Roman is great.
Dude.
I mean, I do too.
We the ones. We the ones. All right, boyos. Well, that's it. If you want to take us out, Tim.
All right, boyos and girlos. Well, no classic show of the week. This has been episode 138. We appreciate you joining us. Hopefully, I'm back next week in my regular setting with air conditioning without 5 fans running. But we had a good time. We hope we brought you a couple laughs, even though it was a little bit of a slow week in the world of wrestling. But we will see you next week with episode 139. And yeah, go watch that Mark Henry bio. You know, I'm thinking I might go do that right now. So have a good week, and we will see you next time.